Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another fabulous edition of Jedi Academy. I'm Ranger J 1999, one of your RSG hosts, and welcome to the Jedi Academy. What is the Jedi Academy? Well, that's where we take all your questions. This is a Q&A show, and the way it works, if you would like a question answered by our fabulous panels of YouTubers and gamers extraordinaires, then all you need to do is put a question in chat. Make sure it's in the form of a question. And today, the lightsaber builder Sir Loki will be scooping questions. Why? Because I put Finn in timeout. He really made me angry. No, that's not true. Really what happened is Finn is working on our new player guide. We did those 5 streams. They're like an hour and a half, I think, each a couple weeks back. People loved it, but they wanted us to put it into one video with like timestamps so people can look at the specific information that they're looking for. So he is diligently working hard on that. Dilly. And trying to get that out for you guys. As you guys notice, we've been doing a lot more videos and stuff of that nature. So he is busy getting that done. Hopefully he can get that out today. So Loki, what's going on, partner? You're scooping up all the questions today, correct?
Yeah, man. Good morning. Good morning to all the panel. Time is it here? 7 a.m. Yeah. It's like, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling chipper. Yeah.
Well, we both know that's a lie because we're both sitting here trying to drink large amounts of coffee, and I'm sitting here smoking my blue because I'm trying to quit chewing tobacco.
No way.
Yeah, I am. You didn't notice
nobody likes to quit.
You haven't seen me the last couple streams puffing on the blue, man?
I have. I'm making conversation, man.
Oh, you said no way, like I was lying.
Maybe some of our viewers haven't seen you yet, but that's a good it's a good start, man.
I'm trying.
Nobody likes a quitter.
Well, I think they'll put up with this. So, that's not. Let's introduce the panel. Of course, you just heard all the way from Korea, serving our military proudly. My army brother, Mr. King Felix. What's going on, buddy?
I don't know what you're talking about. Not being chipper. It's midnight here, and I'm pretty drunk, so I'm pretty chipper.
Well, let's not give you a lot of questions then. Okay, good. Okay. Also joining us, the other voice you heard real quick was Hagar the Horrible, another up-and-coming YouTuber, and he is here to answer questions again. What's going on, Hagar?
What's happening, everybody in YouTube land? Good to be here. I've got 10 a.m., so I'm a touch bit more chipper than the rest of the panel.
It's 10 a.m. here for me, and I feel like I died, man. I mean, Jesus. I
had a few minutes to warm up. I'm pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So let's use the rest of the panel. Of course, my warrior brother, and by warrior I mean we were both ex-special ops guys. Warrior presents Warrior himself.
What's happening? What's happening?
You were on vacation last week with La Familia, which is important, so you couldn't be here.
Yeah, we went to Colorado Springs.
Nice.
I go there quite a bit and visited some family, and we actually drove up to the very top of Pikes Peak, and we drove because walking it is takes far too long. But you can hike it.
I have been to Colorado Springs a couple times. It's a lovely place.
Yeah, when you get to the top, it's absolutely insane, and it was right before that storm, so it was like windy as windy gets, and they were talking about closing the mountain, but we drove it anyway, and it's like insane to go, almost 15,000 feet in the air and walk around the top of a mountain. So it was super fun.
It is surreal. It makes you feel small. It does.
I know. You can look in any direction, 360 degrees, and there's nothing impedes your view. It's pretty up.
Nope. Not at all. And then also joining us is my young apprentice from the dark side, Darth Bella. Guten Tag, Darth Bella.
Guten Tag.
How are you?
I'm fine. It's 4 p.m. here, so
don't tell me that, Bella. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm still trying to wake up, and you're all like, you and King Felix, man. I swear.
Yes.
You're gonna get
no
lightning.
evil questions today. No evil questions because Finity is not on.
Well,
right?
Yeah, it's true. There's no Dr. Finn Medicine Woman today, but he's busy doing God's work for the channel. So, yeah. And then last but not least, all the way from across the pond as well, in good old jolly old England, Mr. Mike Hunt.
Hello, Governor. How you doing?
Mike, I'm going to need you to help me work on getting Smithy back on here. We keep inviting him, but he's not here. What's going on? Did you make him angry or something?
I don't think so. I welcome back my mentor. He started he really did help me out at the very beginning. Yeah, I'm always indebted to Smithy. So yeah, no, I'll give him a shout. See if I can. Thing is, he seems to live stateside times.
I feel like I should just like write him a message now, like, "Oi, I am going to do that right now." Hold on.
Yeah, he's Midlands, so for him, kip a tie sounds like cup of tea. So that's kind of an indication of where the accent needs to go.
Word. All right, so we've got the panel. Again, remember, Loki Soup scooping up questions. So if you want your question scooped up, make sure you either put question in front of the question so we know it's a question, or it's in the form of a question. Sometimes people will put just statements out there that they're just asking a question.
Yeah, put a question mark after the statement.
Yeah, please use proper.
We're good.
Yeah, proper grammar and stuff, because it makes it a little easier for us to scoop questions and stuff. So help us to help you. Help us help you. However that goes. So while we're getting the questions in, I can see they're hot and heavy coming in, but let's talk about my sadness, guys. I want to make this about me right now. I was a little hurt. I was a little upset that Revan's not coming. And then we got Holdo and Rose. Not bad characters. You know, we reviewed their kits and stuff, but you know, as I said, 50% of this is on me and the community because we got really excited for Revan. It didn't help. Cozy was elbowing me in the side of the head, saying, "Oh, you remember what happened last February?" What did everybody think about Revan not being in the game? I want to go to you first, Warrior, because I think a lot of YouTubers and people, I mean, everybody I saw was like excited for Revan. Me more than any of us. But he's not coming as of yet. So what do you think about all that?
Well, I think that it's one of those money grabs that they're going to have. And I hate to use that word, money grab, but because it's not a bad thing that they're trying to make money. But I'm just trying to call an apple an apple. I think it's one of those, like, you know, Leia and Luke and, you know, Rey. And it's just some of those it's a huge character. And they want to make sure they you know, spread those types of characters out. So, you know, the real push, the ones that people are, you know, waiting for and going to spend money on are kind of divvied out. And we just did Jedi Training Rey. Who I know she's not everybody likes her, but you know, she's definitely September or maybe even next February. Sadly, that's probably the next time they'll do a Sith thing, because they visited Sith last February, and then it sounds like they're going to do something this next February, which is in, you know, a few weeks. So I think they're going to do something Sith related. I'm pretty sure you'll probably need your Sith to some level. I know a lot of people that are farming Sith Trooper and Assassin. So if you're doing that in hopes of something, then good for you. If you're not, you know, there's no real evidence to suggest that you should be. But no. I think that there's something going down with the possibility. So Chancellor Palpatine, that was a quote from Chancellor Palpatine in reference to Darth Plagueis, but he said it to Anakin. This was kind of during Anakin's like conversion of Anakin to Darth Vader. Yeah, during the
opera scene, it was after he told him the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise and everything. And
yeah,
is it possible to lend his power? You know,
and so maybe it has something to do with Anakin and that story, and maybe it's going to be like the fall of a hero, and it be some sort of like a hero's journey for Darth Vader.
Hey, as long as I can kill some younglings, I'm happy.
Master Are we going to get Crispy Vader?
There's too many.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do, but and the only reason why I'm really leaning towards that now instead of just the Emperor Palpatine rework, because they did suggest they were going to do that rework a couple months ago on somebody else's Q&A
I heard that
session.
rumor too. Palpatine and Vader were going to get Zetas, and they would like work together. Like the Zetas would be like really powerful for those two. That's what I heard.
I think Emperor Palpatine will be the one that gets reworked. And they were Arnold T101 asked in one of his developer questions, or when he did like a developer interview, and they said, yeah, Emperor Palpatine's like on our radar. We want to work on him. So I could see him in the Sith rework happening. But no, there's this brand new, if you follow EA Star Wars as a Twitter account, and they tweet, obviously, things out. And today, there's a brand new tweet with Darth Vader and Anakin on it, and it says, it says, how will fate transform you? and it has Anakin and Darth Vader, and it's like, are they being, cryptic and subliminal in these, ads on their Twitter account? I have no idea, but that, this is the first I've ever seen this ad, and I follow EA Star Wars pretty heavily.
Yeah, so does Grande. He's always constantly sending me stuff like, "Oh, brother, did you check this out?" Like, calm down. Calm down.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of cryptic, don't you think?
Well, it's cryptic, but I mean, after what Cozy did to me, I don't trust anything, buddy. What happened last February? Innocent whistle. Come on, Cozy. Oh, I'm so angry. It's like, it's like, Jesus. Anybody else, Revan?
I know what happened. It was snowing.
Go ahead, Bella.
It was snowing last February, so that's what happened.
That's That's not a bad observation.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get 3 new bounty hunters.
Oh, you heard that too, huh, Mike?
So many damn
Orlam and Django. Oh my gosh, I'd be so happy.
I wouldn't mind.
Well,
listen, if they do something with the Sith, great. I'll be happy. Maybe they introduce some new characters or rework some. I'm cool with that. But I guess I got expectations because we always take out what they write and then we kind of try to figure it out. Like sometimes it's pretty easy. Like for the Luke event or R2 event stuff, we're like, well, we know who that is, right? You make an interesting point, Warrior, about the that quote from Palpatine to Anakin, and then what you're saying, maybe they are going to bring in like a Lord Vader version of Anakin in the game, with his Sith eyes and robe and everything, which I think would be kind of really cool, right? Because Palpatine, but it's Palpatine making the quote, so I don't know if it's referencing Anakin like you're saying, like this like evil journey we can go on, or if it's referring to Palpatine, that they're reworking Palpatine for something. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different ways.
It could also be maybe a very difficult to kill or unkillable Padme.
Who?
Padme.
Padme?
Isn't that
okay, Grande.
Isn't that entire bit where the speech is quoted? Mm-mm. Is in reference to Padme, isn't it?
Well, but
because he's telling Anakin that
there's so many different. So the thing that's interesting about that quote is where it is. Like if it was going to be, see the thing is, if it's for the Emperor Palpatine rework, then why not quote Emperor Palpatine from the movies when he's the actual Emperor Palpatine, right? So there might be a Zeta coming for him with the Sith rework, great, but the quote was actually from Palpatine, in the opera scene in Revenge of the Sith, before they even knew he was the Dark Lord of the Sith, when he's reworking Anakin. I mean, I really lean toward what Warrior's saying as a possibility, because either they're doing something with Palpatine, right, because he made the direct quote, and that's giving you a hint that that's the character they're doing something with, or they're doing something with Anakin. When he starts his term.
We could get force choked Padme, who would be like a Yoda.
Padme, not Padme. It's Padme, not Padme. She's not a Native American.
2 syllables.
And
just go with it.
And sends Lord Vader into a rage, and he kills everyone on his squad,
except for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's right. Hello there.
I'm just gonna say, if they do a Sith Anakin,
you said
he needs to have a special called Youngling Slaughter. It has to happen.
Oh no. That would be horrifying, but so amazing if they did that, where you go on the journey and they just you go through a room and that kid pops up. Man, that's this Skywalker. What are we gonna do? Oh my god.
They need it like the old Ben and Vader scene they did in the Luke's journey.
Oh
but for Anakin, you just murder 50 younglings.
Oh.
That's so bad.
Oh. If CG did that, I would give them the biggest, maddest props in the world. Like, you guys are ballsy, and I love it. So
I would completely forget this backhanded slap of Holdo and Rose that they just gave me.
Well, I mean, real quickly before we get to the questions, they're starting to pile in now. Holdo, Rose. I mean, Holdo looks pretty good. Rose, I was kind of like, meh. You know, I mean, Holdo, I think would really make the Jedi training raid team really good because of her taunt and everything. Rose is okay. Anybody, you know, thoughts on those two they want to share?
I'm seeing some promise in Rose, got to be honest. With her buffs from, was it Expose, and did she get boost from every Resistance character in there, or not?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
She could have boosted up, and she gets a chance to go again, and she does the Tenacity up. And, I mean, it looks promising to me, but again, I'm going to have to see it.
It looks
but
okay.
From on the flip side, from the footage I saw, she wasn't doing that much damage. Yeah. So, take it as you want.
Yeah. Anybody else?
So, think about Rose and her kit. Does a stun do anything in the raid? Does low damage do anything in the raid? Does tenacity actually do anything in the raid? No, because it's removed by the the gun blasts. So she's actually an arena-built character, but she's not very good in arena.
I know.
Oh, that's
her kit was okay, but it was just underwhelming. Yeah, Holdo was the interesting one for me. I was like, now this has some possibilities. The taunt, healing. I was like, I was like, wait. 1 second, guys. We lost connection.
Yeah, it looks like it.
God damn it. Comcast keeps doing this crap. All right, we're back.
Yeah, I have the stream up on my TV, and it's definitely buffering for no reason.
Yeah. Just put out that just a quick little thing. They've been working on the internet and doing some funky stuff here lately, and I don't know what the hell they're doing, but it's been like, you know, even that, and they're doing something with it.
Yeah,
it's back. Yeah, it's back. It's not like that one time where it was just completely dead. It's just cutting in and out because I think they're doing something. It's at certain times of the day that I get signals and stuff, and they upload and reboot and do all this crazy stuff. So it's like, y'all need to cut that out. I'm trying to stream, buttholes. All right, let's get into some questions. Let's see. Who knows? We'll start with. We'll start with Mike. This is from Bad Horsey One. He has a question. What's the best arena team to defend against a maxed out CLS Titan team?
Best team to defend against CLS.
This is kind of an oxymoron because any team can beat any team in the arena, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd kind of.
One team comes to mind for me, but go ahead with
personally for me, it's normally the an Asajj lead Nightsisters.
Does pretty well.
Yeah, I run it with the GK, and I mean I've had days where my first battle 23.5 hours later is for first.
Yeah.
And that sits quite well in there. Although I must admit the CLS leads are kind of fading away now.
Yeah, the other team that I was going to mention was the Jedi training ring with the 2 Kenobis is really good on defense.
But remember the old school General Kenobi lead with Barasafi Zeta. That was actually the hard counter originally because Luke is a crit lead, and so you put it. That's where the GKs and Barrises came, and there wasn't that many. But then everybody got ticked because they made a hard counter to that when they really shouldn't have.
The Thrawn double tank as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Thrawn with Shoretrooper, Stormtrooper, and then take your pick on who the other two are Empire wise. They've got durability. They take a lot of hits, do a lot of healing, and you know if you got Death Trooper in there or whatever, he's gonna dish out days and double tap every rebel.
All right. Next question will go to King Felix. Kagero Syndicate wants to know what is a good speed for Shoretrooper?
Let's see. Well, if he's under a Thrawn lead, you want to make him as fast as possible because you want him to keep throwing up the heal. I'm just going to check out what mine's at real quick. I have mine modded for a Veer's lead, which has the added speed to it. So I think mine's going to be a little bit slow just off of the bat. But
see, there's more to the question. That says, I recently configured my shore to run at 186. Should I keep my speed arrow or should I revert to a prot arrow, which I held out previously?
I use protection arrows on most of my tanks.
Yeah,
unless
speed's
it's
not an important thing for me on tanks. I mean, some speed, yeah, but I mean, even with my Kenobi, he's only like 190 something because I went all defense and protection, and because I just want him to take hits.
The exception to that rule is Old Ben because you want him to throw up that ability block.
Yeah, it's true. Old Ben's a different cat.
But Shoretrooper has the auto taunt, and when he throws up his first turn, he's throwing up his taunt anyway with the crit immunity. And then if he's slow, it doesn't really matter if you throw the taunt up. But if you're facing a lot of teams that will dispel his taunt, you might want him to go pretty fast.
You want quite a bit of health on him as well, don't you? He's quite. I mean, his max health has quite an impact on his healing side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I went on mine. I went all health and protection, and I added 9 speed to my Shoretrooper, so he's at 126. Like, I use him under the Veer's lead when he gains a bunch of extra turn meter.
Right.
Really only use him in territory wars and territory battles. But I have over 110,000 combined health and protection, so I just made him tanky as I could.
Yep. There you go. All right, next question. Darth Bella, Ancient Farmer says, what is the best reinforcement lineup for ships?
Reinforcement lineup. This is not actually the way to ask a question like that because I don't know what capital ships are run and what is in the main lineup. Of course, there's no doubt that Scimitar is a very good ship to have in reinforcement. Doesn't really matter which capital ship and what else you run, so that could be a good one. But I think the others are not depend a bit on what you actually run.
Yeah, so let's say we're running Scimitar or Executrix. You tell me if I'm wrong on this, Bella. I mean, at least 2 reinforcements you want to have would be, of course, like you said, Scimitar, and I like to put Boba Fett as the next reinforcement.
I like either Boba Fett or Umbaran because they have an AoE and they can kill target lock ships.
Yep.
And when you play a target lock fight, you should be able to place a few target locks before reinforcement is called in, and then you can take down those ships with their AoE.
Yeah, another one is Poe's ship is a really good reinforcement ship because if you got like one of those ties sitting there that's dodging everything, just bring him in there and like, wee.
I always keep Poe in my reserves.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Fighter pilots.
And then it could just depend. It depends on your lineup too. I mean, if you're running a Republic's fleet like with Mace, right? A lot of the reinforcements you want have to deal with what you're trying to do for the lineups. I mean, Akbar, you can kind of run anything because it's just Akbar. I mean, yeah, you get bonuses with the Rebels, so you want to focus mainly on Rebels. Ghost and Phantom, if you're not in their lineup, you kind of want to run those together, so those should be in your lineup, but you can bring in like a Wedge and stuff like that get those bonuses and all that other stuff from being in an Akbar fleet. So I think you just kind of have to kind of look at your lineup. I'll tell you what, Agent Farmer, just get into our Discord and you kind of tell us what you're running and stuff, and then we can kind of tell you what to do. All right, next question. Bad Horsey 1 question. This is for Warrior. Will Holdo be a key part of the meta? And kind of another question kind of goes into that with David Rodriguez. It says, will Holdo replace Old Ben on a Resistance team? And will Rose have a place in Arena on a RGT team? Those kind of go hand in hand. What do you think?
Yeah, so Rose and Holdo. I'll just address the elephant in the room first, Rose. She, in theory, was kind of more of a PvE player, but her kit is all wrong for the PvE. I tested her in the raids, and I did the worst I've ever done in a raid run, and I had 4 other team members that normally the team normally goes from phase 2 all the way through 3 and all the way through 4. And
is that
I
the Jedi training raid team?
Yeah, and I replaced one person with Rose, and I couldn't get out of phase 2. Oh. It really stunted my team, actually. So I was like frustrated with that. I was like, wow, okay, so maybe she's arena. So I put her in arena, and she does not replace the people that she needs to replace. Think about it. When you pull someone out of an arena slot, whoever goes into that arena slot must be equal to or greater than in kit than the person it's replacing. So a lot of people are running Jedi raid teams, and so you think about the back 2, you're thinking about Old Ben and General Kenobi, Han Solo, Thrawn. I mean, there's some really overpowered characters in those back 2 slots. Rose does not even come close in her kit or in her synergy to any of those overpowered characters. Han Solo's better, even with 0 synergy. Thrawn, better with 0 synergy. So she doesn't have a home anywhere, in my opinion. Now, someone's going to prove me wrong. They're going to mix her with Ugnaught and Dascha and Solo phase 1. It's going to happen. Someone's going to do some weird combo and prove that Rose has a home. I'm sure of it, and that's fine. But from my initial testing, I didn't find a home for Rose anywhere. Now, let's move to Holdo. Holdo is as solid as General Kenobi or Old Ben. So putting her on the same plane with the other tanks. However, she's not any better. She's not better. I tested her out, and I found that with my tied team with the Old Ben and General Kenobi, I can win in about 60 seconds on auto. If I manual battle, about a minute and a half. And with her in there, it took me 2 to 2.5 minutes to win on auto and or on that. And the issue is, so these are her strengths and weaknesses. She's a self-healing tank. That's kind of cool. But the heal she gives herself really is unimpressive. It's not much heal at all. So she doesn't heal a lot. And so it doesn't keep up with the amount of damage that she's going to take because she's an auto-taunting tank like General Kenobi. She has this constant disruptive taunt. And so she's constantly being hit. But her healed isn't nearly enough to keep up. The second thing is she has one of, if not the lowest armor rates of any tank in the game at like 30% for a tank, when you can get other tanks up to 50%. So when she gets hit. Like, she is not compressing that damage the way other tanks do, especially like Old Ben. Who you can get up to 50% armor, right? So he's, someone's trying to hit him for 10,000 and it's only 5,000, whereas for her, she's going to take 7K of that damage instead. So even if you can get her health and protection pool really high, you go through it much faster with far less turns. And then lastly, a lot of people are going to get her and try and use her at 3 stars, right? Through 2, 3, 4 stars. I mean, they might spend a little money or no money, but they're going to be somewhere between 2 to 3 or 4 stars. And most of the time, tanks are super viable at 3 stars. We know this, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I tested her at 3 stars, and I had about 50,000 health and protection, about 22,000 health, and about 30,000 protection at that 3-star rate, gear 11, because you can't take her higher than gear 11, right? Because of her star rate. And she had like 52,000 health and protection, and with the armor rate, she was slaughtered within 30 seconds of the battle every time. She was the one that just got completely destroyed. What good is an overpowered kit if you're dead? Like, right. So I guess in theory her kit's amazing, but so that was the issue. So then I took her to 7 stars gear 12, and she became an equal. She lasted just as long, and she became an equal. But then now there's this one major problem with her and her kit. You want to use her kit, and she is like the slowest character in the game. I think there's like 2 other characters that are as slow as her at 90 speed. Ugh. And so you could put God mods on her and still not be able to get her as fast as you can get General Kenobi and Old Ben. And so I found her to be a relative equal in arena with a pretty decent kit and actually really pretty fun to play, but definitely not better than either one of those. And again, when I'm pulling someone out of my arena team, whoever's going in better be better, or they're not going in. Like, that's the whole point. And if they're equals, then I could see kind of having a mix-up, mashup. But at this point, do I really need a third option that's maybe equal, if not quite as good, in my back too? I guess that's the question you have to ask yourself. And for me, it's the no. I'm not going to spend $300 on some tank that's going to be maybe as good as what I have now, because I already have something that's good. I don't, you know what I mean? So if she was going to be initially far better than what I had tested, then maybe. But
there you go. All right, next question from Varangian Vigilante, and this question for everybody, but we'll start off with you, Hagar. What are your favorite space opera, science fantasy, or science fiction franchises besides Star Wars? Huh.
Spaceballs.
Classic.
Oh, they put out some good Star Trek movies.
Yeah, there have been some good ones.
Been enjoying those.
Anybody else have a favorite?
I know the new Voltron cartoon reboot has been enjoyable.
It's true. They just need to make a live action of Voltron and Robotech and stuff. What's happening?
Take my money.
No, just take my money.
I thought Dune was amazing.
Which one?
Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune.
Oh,
I remember
Dune,
reading.
Yep. That's a good one. Of course, Battlestar Galactica 1978 and the reboot here recently are two of my favorites. Battlestar Galactica 1980 should never be mentioned, nor should it ever be shown again in public viewing.
Is that the Lorne Green one?
Well, he was in both of them, but in the second one, it's like they get to Earth and it's like they're in the past and they're trying to fix this. It's like, what the hell is this crap?
Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Buck Rogers. The best intro ever.
You know, there was a series in Germany, I think in the 60s. It was called Raumschiff Orion. And if you ever happen to Google that, it was so crazy. It was black and white, and the special effects are so obvious that it's more like a good laugh.
Yeah, you gotta love that. I mean, I'm a Doctor Who fan, so I'm a Whovian. That's one I really enjoy, and I remember I went back and watched some of the earlier Doctor Who's. Just got a kick out of them. It's like,
do you get Red Dwarf in the States?
Oh yes, you can get anything now, man. Everything's everywhere, dude. You can get anything.
So Red Dwarf was quite epic. Dwayne Dibley.
What else was there? There was Andromeda AE. There was there's been a ton of shows and stuff that have been out there that could whet your appetite if you're into that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to think of some other ones, but yeah. So there you go. Let's see here. Next question. Well, the next question from Michael, I'm gonna save that one. Next, we're gonna go to Loki. He's working hard getting all the questions, and this is from Young Gun 8834. Do you guys think we'll still get First Order tunes like Hux and Praetorian Guards? What do you think about that, Loki?
I think we should. I mean, we have a lot of resistance ships. Like, we don't have a resistance capital ship yet, so it'd be nice to get Hux with some kind of a ship, or we get maybe Snoke with his ship, and then you introduce the Praetorian Guards with Snoke. I think that would be really useful in the game. Yeah, I think they're coming. Hopefully they're not done with Last Jedi. They're just slowly rolling out stuff. Maybe they'll take a break for February and they'll
March will be like
go off the path a little bit. Yeah. And then March comes and they'll do the last round of Last Jedi, and then the Han movie's coming in May, right?
Yep, coming in May.
Yeah, so then they roll out Han characters in April, Mayish, I guess. So
yeah.
Sir Loki?
Yes.
What half of Snoke do you want to come into the game?
I want tongue. I want his head with his tongue out.
I know.
Isn't that a great scene?
Death Snoke.
You know what's funny about that dude? I was watching the movie again. He's like isn't he like the only character with blue eyes, and he's dark side? Like, isn't that funny?
I know.
Yeah,
I still love that.
Usually dark side got like red eyes or like, you know, some evil looking eyes. But,
him and Kylo both have never had the yellow Sith eyes yet. That's been really interesting. Not once have they pulled the dark side so much.
Out of First Order thing.
I don't know. It's
They're not Sith, right? So they wouldn't have Sith eyes.
well, the dark side caused that. It's not about being Sith; it's just the dark side. When you pull too much dark side.
My theory with the Praetorian Guards is those are the Knights of Ren.
No,
they're just.
They said there was some stuff. There was been some speculation.
No, that's what I think.
Well, it's wrong.
Can't tell me what I think.
Okay, well, when 9 comes out
because
and they come
fight
out,
so gracefully, man. Look at that scene.
Yeah.
Only trained Jedi or Sith can fight like that.
No,
man.
they even mentioned it in the movie. You weren't paying attention, Loki. The Knights of he took students, and they are the Knights of Ren.
Students and converted them.
No,
to
Loki.
Go. Done deal. Even the Royal Guard couldn't fight like that, dude. He just stands there and falls down.
They could. They just never showcased it in Return of the Jedi. But if you read some of the EU canon books, the Royal Guard were really, really strong and powerful. I mean, they were
I think we're getting Praetorian Guard. I don't think Snoke's coming. I don't think either half of his body is coming into this game, sadly.
We can't even get half a character, damn it. All right, back to the talk. Mike Hunt, question for you. Wait a second, this is a question from you, Mike.
Oh, is it? Oh, it can't be. I can't answer it then, can I?
So let's just get rid of that question. Mike Hunt asked a question. Other than Nightsisters, what else beats RJT Droid Squad? Mike, what?
It's very, very current.
I can field this question.
Go ahead, King Felix.
My CLS team still wipes the floor with Jedi Training Ray. CLS
even with a max chopper.
Kenobi. Yes,
Giggity.
I have a guy who runs a max chopper, and it's too easy.
Okay,
I'll concur with that.
Other than CLS,
you know what else wipes Ray teams on the floor really, really good? The Rex-led Titan teams. A really good Rex lead. I struggle beating it with my Ray team, and it's like what with Thrawn and Han Solo, and it's just crazy because of the amount of turn meter that Rex gives the team. It really is that equalizer, and so he gives him time. Plus, with Thrawn being able to key fracture BB-8 or Jedi Ray, and with Han Solo being able to shoot crazily through foresight, it's a very stout team. I've actually considered possibly running it because there's so many Jedi Ray just to be different. Because it seems like as soon as I go to a team, the whole world is on that team. It's
you're facing the same thing over and over.
Well,
I just feel like I've got a close up of the Hulk because everything, the screen turns green as soon as they start. It's like whoa.
If you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think the key to beating Jedi Ray is Old Ben.
I always go after the 15 that's not part of the team, whether it's Thrawn, Han, Old Ben. I always stun them and then get them out of the fight, and then run the rest.
I mean Old Ben on your squad. Because as soon as I get the ability block up on their team,
right,
I want my Old Ben to be fast. But as soon as I get the ability block up on their team, they don't do anything and they just get slaughtered.
Right.
And I did Zeta his taunt because I felt
it's
like
nice.
it.
But we need so many Zetas right now, it's ridiculous. It's like, God in heaven, Lord.
I'm saving mine for Palpatine and Vader.
I'm saving mine for Kylo Ren Unmasked. I'm working on that
And
guy
Jango
religiously.
And
I'm
Boss.
43.
Yeah, I've got 2 Zetas.
Well, some of us are rich and some of us are poor. That's all I gotta say.
I got
I've just not been
pieces.
I've not been spending mine. I've Roll with Punches was earmarked, as was Daka's Unique, but they've both been put on the back burner.
Yeah.
If I can go dark side, yes.
Please.
Kill the rebel scum.
All right, next question. All right, Mike, we're gonna start again. Hopefully this isn't from you. Lord.
I only posted one question. It's not from me.
You're a bad man. So let's try this again, Mike. This is from Captain Blackbeard. His question is, with adding Holdo and Rose, what's the ideal 2 resistance teams?
Ray Jedi training. It's got to be BB-8 and R2 because she's just got that affinity, hasn't she? So, and also from what Warrior was saying, I don't know. I kind of dump her at the back of the Z Fin one, the Z Fin led.
Yeah, she'll work well with that team.
What she will do is kind of prolong Poe. Because if you've got the two taunts up, and she's throwing out Foresight as well, isn't she? So she should theoretically allow Poe to do his stuff.
Yeah. If you put Rose back there, though, she's going to be getting a hell of a lot of turn meter, and she's going to be proccing that tenacity up. She's going to be proccing that stun a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rose for the Finn team makes sense, and then Holdo with, I mean, if you're just going to go straight resistance, you can run Jedi Ray with R2BB8 Scavenger Ray because she's just dynamite that team on offense, and then Holdo's your tank. That would be a really solid resistance team, and then run, Rose is your fifth for the other resistance team, and then
it's a really good idea. Yeah,
I think those are the two that make sense. All right, next question to Darth Bella. This is from Danilo Papayas, and it's a question for Darth Bella. It says, Darth Bella, how excited for an upcoming rework of Vader or Palpatine or a Sith pass? Deducted from and this is deducted from Codespin's message quoting Palpatine. How excited are you for a possible rework of Vader and Palpatine in the Sith? I mean, you're evil like me, so let's discuss.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that because both characters had to stand down a bit, and
that's sad, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's really sad because I remember when I started playing, Vader shots were just kind of very rare. You could just get them by achievements, and it was a really, really long farm, and no exception, no money making, and they should have one or two characters like that. And so when I finally got Vader, there were much better or other tunes there, but still I sated him because of raids. And now, of course, I can use him in other in the guilty and territory battle. But on the other hand, I mean, he's one of the most mighty dark figures in the movies, and now he's just filling in some. If you have a team, I mean, I sometimes still use his lead, which I quite like against rebels, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he should be reworked even more than Vader, I think.
Yeah. I mean, these are the two most powerful feared men in the galaxy, and I'm getting angry. Let's move on. Well said, my apprentice. All right, next question. Let's see, for Warrior. Sith Lord has a question. Warrior says, is it safe to hoard with 1.8 million GP for the Dark Side month that's supposed to be in February?
Is it okay to hoard what?
I guess hoard everything. Is it safe to hoard with 1.8 million GP for the Dark Side month that's supposed to be in February? So I guess he's saying, should he not be spending anything or using anything and just wait for the Dark Side rework and stuff happening in February and then unload?
Well, I guess it depends. I mean, 1.8 is relative. I don't know what that 1.8 represents. I don't know if that's...
I think that's total GP.
He's got the right tunes or the wrong tunes. But basically, if he's excited for... the dark side rework potential or the dark side whatever, save. Just why not? Because then when it comes out, you're just going to be all over it and on top of it, and it's going to be fun because you'll actually be ahead of the curve for the first time in a long time or ever. But other people, I mean, if you're got a development plan for yourself in the game, you stay on target no matter what OP crap comes out. You stay on target. So
speaking, brother, preach.
And I have my my free-to-play farming guide. I worked on it. I sent it out to my patrons. They looked at it. They said that the content was amazing, but the actual quality of the video was less than amazing. And the reason for that was audio and some other issues. I'm getting a new mic coming in, which I'm excited to finally get the upgraded mic. My other mic's going out. It sucks. So
all right, Warrior, we'll record it for you. You don't have to ask. God, I mean, jeez.
But I've got this new video, and this new video is going to actually give you a 2-year timeline of what you should be working on. And you can accelerate that to your timeline as fast as you want if you want to spend money or not. But it's a pretty fun video. But if you've got a plan, you should stay on target.
Yeah.
And if that plan includes certain characters you've already invested a ton of time or money into, not Zetaing them at this point would be silliness because you just put all that effort into them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So stay on target. All right. Oh wait, there's another question. So Faye mock question to CG when you visit them, Warrior. They want you to ask, will General Grievous get a rework and bundle in with Palpatine and Anakin?
I'm hoping that there's two things happening in February. I'm hoping that there's new characters, and I'm hoping that there's reworks. Now, the reworks, if they were to do them, they would have to be. I mean, I can only imagine, but they'd have to be, either separatists or bounty hunters. And I could see them doing separatists first, but at the same time, I know that General Grievous is one of those big kind of major characters, and so they could potentially do just like 3 bounty hunters to kind of strengthen the bounty hunter faction, and then do a couple new characters in the game, and plus a rework or something. And I could see it being really like 6 characters being either added, reworked, or whatever. But so I see a rework possible, but it depends on how much they're going to jam in. And it sounds like there's a new game mode coming into the game, is what they announced, that we're going on this trip to introduce a new game mode. So the only thing I could imagine is, if it's a game mode, like I was thinking like a sandbox mode or something cool like that. I don't know.
Me and Warrior, 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Warrior, did they ship all you guys in for ships? How many guys were shipped into EG or the CG for the ships release?
For the last time?
Oh, well, the biggest thing was
I think
like
the last
ship.
time, I don't think you were there, Warrior. I remember it was Cubs and Crazy and then that went there.
Oh,
right?
the very, very last trip they did was just a small little puddle jumper trip where they just for like a day had a couple of some of the newer game changers out, because they had never had a trip and stuff. But no, this the last major release was, I don't know if you remember, it was Heroic AAT in December or November. I think it was November of 2 years ago, and they had us all out, and it was all about the new Heroic AAT tank raid and General Kenobi, and that was kind of like the big, huge new piece plus a new character. And this trip, they're bringing a bunch of people, like more than any other trip in history. So I've got to imagine it's bigger scale than. They have people that aren't even playing this game that's going to be there. Like,
not us.
They're making like an entire hotel to have a bunch of non-game makers and stuff, or video makers there. Like, they're going to have press and all sorts of crazy stuff there. We're just like one small piece of all of the people they're inviting, and that's never happened ever in any of my trips. And this is like my 7th trip. So nuts. It's got to be something big. And it's going to be including, I'm sure of it, it's including a new game mode of some sort and characters with that new game mode, because that's pretty much what they always do. Every game mode has a rewarded character.
There you go.
There you go. How about now? All right, let's see. Next question, we'll go to Loki. This is from Nathaniel Miller. Question, how do defense and armor work, and what's the difference between them?
I'm sorry, can you pass the question? Because I'm...
Oh, you're still skipping questions? All right.
Yeah.
Hagar, we'll go to you. You're next on the... how do defense and armor work, and what's the difference between them?
If I remember correctly, armor rather is a straight percentage of how much incoming damage is mitigated or reduced, and defense just amplifies that stat. I know Warrior's waiting with bated breath to correct me, so go ahead, Warrior.
So, offense and defense are direct counters to each other. So if someone's bringing in 2,500 offense and you have 60 defense, it's offense minus defense. So if they got 2,500 and you have 100, they now have 2,400 as their base offense stat. So it comes directly off of their base stat, which helps a lot, because if you have 300 defense and they have, let's say, 2,500, you've dropped it to 2,200. Well, that 2,200, with like Han Solo at 2,600 hits for like 26,000 because of all of the stats and all of his crit chance up and offense up and all this other stuff. So, he's got like almost a 10 times multiplier once all of the math is done. And so to take out a huge chunk of that, that's like 3,000 damage loss that he takes, which is pretty significant for him. He does that much less because of that. And then, like you said, so defense is the exact counter to offense. It literally comes off the mathematical equation, offense minus defense, and that's what they're going to do. The armor is literally a percentage of how much damage that you compress. So if you're doing 10,000 and you have 50% armor, the character that's hitting you is no longer doing 10,000 and they're only 5,000. So pretty simple.
I was half right.
You did well. Well, let's give you another question. This is kind of for everybody, but we'll start with you, Hagar. Just from Jeffrey K. And the question for the panel is, what do you like to spend your guild store currency on, assuming you don't need characters from that store?
Oh, that's a loaded question. Oh, man, I love to spend so much guild store. Oh, let's see. There's the big three, or only the big two of them. There's the Carbantes and the Cuffs.
Yep.
I love Mark V Biotech. Those are the ones on the right side in the middle, just before, like above a character. Anyway. And another one is the blue balls, the detonators. Mm-hmm. Those are, let's see, it's the gear and then the two characters on a row. It'd be like in the first row of character shards. Very hard to explain.
They're Mark III Merson detonators.
Yes, the blue balls, Mark III Merson detonators. They're on the left in the middle. Yeah, and whatever else I can pick up. Whatever else I'll need and I can buy, that's what I love to buy in the guild store.
Yeah, I'm focusing on TIE Pilot, Special Forces right now, and Stark. And the other thing I get from the store right now is it seems like I'll never ever stop farming these MK3 Carbantes. Mm-hmm. And stun cuffs. So whenever those are all in the store, I will buy them, because sometimes they're not, right? You just get cycles where it's like, well, there's nothing there that I need. Once in a while, though, I will pick up some of the greens that are there that because they're steel. I mean, I got to give credit to Ward for this, because he had brought it up to my attention. I was like, what? So those certain greens that you have to kind of form all the pieces together, they come in like sets of 5 for 100. Mm-hmm. And
yep, I did a video on.
Are they worth it? If you see those in there, brother, you should. Certain, not all of them, but I'm trying to think of the name, but I can't because I don't think
the Mark V Blast Tech. I did a video on it.
Yeah.
Those things are other pieces of gear. Come down to 20 guild currency each, and it's. I think next to the thermal detonators, the blue balls, those are the best deal in the guild event store. I was crunching them, and I think the detonators are actually a better deal, but the Blast Techs are an awesome deal.
I agree. Anybody else farming anything particular?
Yeah, I'm like you, Ranger. I of course I'm like you. I farm stun cuffs and Carbantes mostly, and then I just go to my characters, and the ones I try to gear up, I check if where the gear is, and then if there's some in guild store, then I get it there. So I go the other way around. I don't always go to the store and check what's in the store, but I go to the characters and check where you can find this gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm just focusing on. Anybody else, anything in particular? Because I know a lot of us, other than Hagar, farm the snot out of the guild store.
I can't forget the Mark III holo projectors.
Oh, yeah, those.
Yep.
Everybody and their grandmama needs those.
I try for is it the Mark 9 balls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Gear
those you need when you go in Gear 12s and that they appear as either a direct or and you need a lot of those. Grabbing those just because they distract your farming.
Yeah.
Normally you've got your set nodes because you know where you what you're doing. For example, I always hit. So I know I'm switching away from the guild store, but I always hit the Jedi consular ship node because that gives you the cuffs and the Mark IV thing.
Oh, that's that's the same thing with First Order or Kylo Ren command shuttle node. It gives you Mark 7 Merson shield generators and the Mark 4 keypad. Plus first Stormtrooper.
There are some sweet nodes that you can just hit, but yeah, other than that, just repeating what everyone else said. Nightsisters love blue balls. Hey, but the Mark III or the Merson thermal detonators.
All you gotta do is talk to Grande. He'll tell you about it.
Yeah,
because there aren't. Isn't that all that the Mark V is? It's kind of like three pieces of gear or more are all made just from those.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're correct on that. I mean, again, no.
So, I mean, they're so handy because obviously you can deploy them across quite a range of characters, and it's just one item.
All right. Let's see here. Let's go back to the top. Next question will be from Mike. Dialer's Twi'lek's Tactics question. I just spent 3 vaults to get Holdo. Am I an idiot?
No, you have a character that possibly is equal to 2 characters you already have. is the diplomatic answer there. But hey, what you've got there is you've got a toon that no doubt will appear in platoons. So even which means that you can chuck her in there. Yeah, it does become quite. The word eludes me at the moment, but soul destroying almost, that you get these brand new characters and then you find that you got to put your Death Panda in platoon. And it's like, you've just launched it, let me at least use it rather than take one for the guild.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question. This will go to Bella, Bad Horsey 1. Question: will TIE Silencer be a game changer in ship arena?
TIE Silencer, right? Was the question?
That's right.
Not at the moment, but there's hope. We all hope.
Rebellions are built on hope, Bella.
Yes. Even the dark side sometimes is built on hope.
No, Bella. No.
Yes. I mean, the thing is that we would like to have more capital ships, right?
We need them.
And so we will probably, hopefully, at one day get a first order capital ship. And then this could change things.
Yeah, TIE Silencer, I mean, where do we see TIE Silencer in a lineup? I mean, I think we talked about this last week, didn't we?
I mean, it's a great ship. It can do huge damage, but so far you always have to get rid of one other ship. And yeah, I'm still playing target lock fights, and most of us, I guess, are. And he doesn't have target lock. He has he has a stun, which is good, but there's other ships with a stun as well. So you have to get out one.
Yeah. And it's hard to say where to put him in. I mean, I guess he would be good as a reinforcement. I don't think he's meta changing or changing. He's a game changer in ship arena at all. You know?
The place I really see him shine is going to be on your second fleet in Territory Wars.
Right.
So you can take out that extra fleet. But I'm going to play around with him in Arena just because his ship looks awesome. Physically, I mean, like, aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, and if you're following Kylo Ren Unmasked right now, you're getting his ship shards as well. So, it'll be, it goes hand in hand. So, all right, next question. Let's see. I lost where I was. Hold on a second. Let's see. King Felix, question from Junior Hawk 003. Question: who should we speculate farm to stay ahead of panic farming like Anakin? If it is an Anakin thing with this last quote, do the people need to start panic farming Anakin?
No, you need to panic farm the younglings. No. For Anakin, if you who'd be on I guess what would it be a hero's fall journey?
Villain's
I guess for Anakin, if he was going to the dark side. You know what would be interesting is if they reworked Mace Windu and then put him in his fall, because that could be the scene like Darth Vader and Obi-Wan in Luke's journey. That could be awesome. But for Anakin, if they're gonna do Anakin, they gotta throw in Padme. So that's gonna be your panic farm. If they're gonna do a dark side Anakin, they're gonna throw in Padme at the last minute, just like they did with Phoenix for Thrawn. So if I was you, I might save some crystals and get ready to panic farm for Padme Amidala.
Oh no. Oh, we'll see what happens, but just stay on course, stay on target. You know, if you're working on Anakin already, then just stay working on him.
Yeah, and like Warrior says, just do what you're doing. Don't change just because of the meta, because then
if you change every time a new shiny thing came out, oh my god, you never get anything done. You know? So
unfortunately, I don't listen to Warrior's advice, so I always change my mind. And I have suffered for it.
Boom, boom.
He is wise beyond his years. Dilly dilly. All right, next question for Warrior. This is from Junior Hawk 003. Question. I'm sorry, that's not from Junior Hawk. It's from Dylar's Twilight's Tactics, and the question is, how should I mod my Holdo under a Return of the Jedi Training Ray lead?
Well, anytime you mod, there's two things you should do. You should either accentuate their strengths or shore up their weaknesses. Those are the two things I tell people every time. So you don't need a rocket scientist beside you to figure it out. Her armor rate is atrocious, and her health is stupid low, which is why her heal doesn't do enough. So since she's a tank and she's going to take a ton of hits and she's slow as hell already, and there's not a whole lot, and you would have to literally put God mods on her to get her speed up. What I personally would do is put 3 sets of defense mods on her to try to increase her overall armor rate and her defense, so that way she can actually take a hit and not die real quick. And then, of course, just a ton of health and protection. So defense mod sets, and then I would go all protection and health on your primaries and secondaries. If you can get some secondary speed, then good. If you can get 50 to 70 secondary speed, that would be really optimal, because she does have a plus 50 boost that she gives herself, which is momentary until she gets her taunt, but it's not enough. So, but anyway, yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Or is the Zeta a must on Holdo?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. Duly noted.
Yes.
All right. Next question for Hagar, and the question is from I hope I'm saying this name right. Fly Mulk. My level 83 gear 8 Kylo Ren doesn't hit hard enough, even with his attack and abilities that are 7s and 8s. How should I mod him to deal more damage?
Oh, crit damage, crit chance? What got mine on it? I've got pretty crappy ones on mine. I
mean, he's a tank. I mean, he's not going to be extraordinarily on the old damage scale, first off.
Well, if you got the Zeta on him, and he does do that 75% increased damage when he's less than 100% health. I find that he doesn't do. I mean, he does good damage if you beef him up. So maybe not mods, maybe gear is the problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he's only gear 8,
I believe
you're still way behind the curve on what he can do. So it's really, and he's only 83. So get him up to 85, get him to gear 9, gear 10, make a comparison to see if that helps you. If not, then look at your mods. You know, like crit chance and crit damage with offense secondaries, or go offense vice versa. If you're looking about that, but I mean, I always look at a tank as a tank. You know, I'm not worried about their damage. Just per se, is about them being tanky and beefy, and what does the character do in that role, right? So if I want someone hard hitting, then I'll invest more on my OG Han than I would Kylo Ren for offense and stuff.
Yeah, beef up your gear, dude. See what happens. It's not a quick fix by swapping some mods this time.
Yeah. All right. Loki, you still scooping questions and can answer a question, or you got a commission?
I need another 10 minutes because I'm gonna close the questions off because we got. I think we're like we got a big queue, so I can answer after I'm done.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so in the back of the top, we'll go back to Mike. This is from Kaya Apollinario. I'm using General Kenobi at Gear 12, Zeris, CLS, R2D2 Zeta. Should everyone else's Gear 11? Should I max out my team or go for another team? So she's wondering, should she finish maxing out her team, Mike, or should she start working on another team?
Oh, that's GK still goes anywhere.
What is that? Someone listening to choir music in the background?
Warrior, you gotta mute yourself, bro. Your intro is showing through. It's Warrior's intro, man.
I could tell. I just heard this muffling stuff. I'm like, what? I was like, hello?
He's replying to YouTube comments, and
It's Sunday.
Sorry about that. I got disconnected, reconnected, and forgot to remute. And I'm working on a new intro. Is what I'm doing. So.
Go ahead, Mike. What do you think? Should you finish max gearing them, or work on another team?
I think it's worth maxing out General Kenobi, Mr. Beardy.
He says I'm using a Gear 12 General Kenobi, Zeris, CLS, and R2D2. I'm using a Gear 12. I'm sorry, he's using a General Kenobi who's Gear 12 who's maxed out, but Zeris, CLS, R2, and everyone else is Gear 11. So should he max those guys out or move to another team? I think I'm leaning to where you are, where you want to max them out. CLS and R2 Gear 12. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they're gonna go into so many squads and be useful so many places. R2 would be one I definitely would focus on getting to Gear 12 and even a piece or two as well.
Yeah.
Just because of just how useful R2 is. He spreads across 4 factions immediately, and he's one of the staple characters now, isn't he? When was the last time you saw an arena squad other than Nightsisters maybe that doesn't incorporate R2? Yeah.
All right.
Too handy a piece.
All right. Next question for King Felix, and this is from Nathaniel Miller. Question: working on a TeeBo Titan team variant for Heroic AAT Phase 3. I have Emperor and TeeBo, but not TIE Fighter pilot or preferred tanks. I do have Chewie, Han, Imperial Stormtrooper, as well as Thrawn, and I don't know what this last character is. EWELD.
Ewok Elder.
Ewok Elder. Okay, thank you. I was trying to figure out what that acronym was. Which combo would make the best team?
Oh, that's rough.
It's a tough one, man.
I mean, you list, not to be an asshole, but you listed like every character other than the ones you needed. Ewok Elder would help in that team, but like the characters you need, if you want to run, you said TeeBo team. If you wanted to run a Chirpa team, it's Chirpa, Palpatine, Stormtrooper Han, Royal Guard, and Sunfac, I believe, is the preferred Chirpatine team. You could throw Thrawn in there if you had him, but if you're using the characters you mentioned before, you probably don't have Thrawn. If I was like players who are starting to do the AAT, go and look at the guys who are doing the 30+ million with one single team. It's an Akbar, Asajj, Like, that's the combo you need. Go look at that team and just do that one. Because it's going to take you the same amount of time to build one team that'll do 30 million damage instead of 3 teams that'll do you 15 million.
Yep.
So just go do that one team. Asajj is easily farmable. Akbar is easily farmable. And you can, I mean, if you're in a heroic pit, you can get Han if you'd rather use him rather than Asajj, and you'll do way more damage than if you use a Chirpatine team. Just there's plenty of videos of people doing 30 million damage in the hat on YouTube. So just go look at one of those, mod them how they mod them, and you'll easily get rank top 5 in hat every time.
There you go. All right, next question for Bella. This is from our girl Alchie Dumpling, and she's got a question. She says, "Does Holdo have a spot in a Zeta Finn resistance team? I don't have Jedi training Rey, and what would that team comp be if so?"
So does Holdo fit in a
Zeta
resistance
Finn team? Yeah, Zeta Finn team, the classic. Yeah, the classic resistance team with Zeta Finn.
I mean, I think we already discussed that. Yeah, I'm not so sure I like her yet at all, because I just beat a team in arena with Jedi Rey lead and Holdo in there, but it was not a 7-star Holdo. As Warrior said, he had a 7-star Holdo he was trying out, so I'm not sure when she's higher how she holds ground. Of course, it's fun to use a new character, but she would be the 3rd tank in there, right? Like,
yeah, technically, because of with all the
I would miss some attackers, because you want to run R2D2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you run them? I mean, you can probably go for Satard Rey, old Rey, but if you take, I mean, you need some attackers.
Yeah, I agree. Rose makes more sense, I think we said, than Holdo in that team, right? Just because of what she does, right? So I just don't see it either. I agree with you, Bella. She's better with Jedi training Rey than Zeta Finn.
Yeah, I think so.
Now watch somebody come up with some crazy lineup with her and Zeta Finn, and it's like, oh well, I guess we were wrong.
Yeah, Newt Gunray is going to be in that lineup too.
What did you say? Okay. This is a question directly for Warrior. This is from Hans Omar von Harold. Oh Lord, what a name, von Harold.
Hi Hans, my name is Franz.
Hans Omar von Harold Duarte. Warrior question: is the First Order Riot Stormtrooper a preview of things that are coming? I think this means the Executioner.
No, he's talking about the Riot. The guy that was in the event that you couldn't play.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I was trying to think of what he's talking about. Okay, gotcha.
But they often bring in PvE content that we never get access to, like Embo. So, sadly, I don't think that guy's coming in. But I do think there's more First Order coming, and I do believe we're going to get Praetorian Guard. I really do. I had predicted Rose and Praetorian Guard like 3 months ago, and we got Rose, sadly, but we got Rose. So Praetorian Guard is. And by the way, side note: when I say sadly on Rose, it's not because I am sexist. It's not because I'm a total jerk.
No, you're talking about the character.
It's a fan favorite versus a non-fan favorite. You know, it could be a male or a female. I know there's a lot of females up in arms about a lot of the guys, and I know some of the guys out there are just jerks in the way they deliver.
Yeah, guys are pretty stupid.
Yeah, but it's not because she's female. It's because she is a terrible character in a lot of people's eyes, and an unnecessary, character in the last movie. So I think people would rather have her sister.
Sure was brave, man. That was an incredible scene.
Yeah, exactly. So it has nothing to do with that. But anyway, I think Praetorian Guard. I think there's more to come. I have no idea what. Although, knowing them, the most I've ever seen them bring in 1 month was 3 new characters in 1 month. So the most new characters I could see coming would be 3. The most reworks they've ever done in like 1 month was about 3 to 5 max. So I couldn't imagine them doing both in the same month. Normally they they do one or the other. They do new characters 1 month and then reworks the next month. So I would think next month's going to be mostly reworks, but I'm hoping, cross fingers, that they do both, that they rework a whole faction or a section of a faction and bring in some new First Order. First Order is still lackadaisical, even with all the new characters, and you can't run them in arena, and those few souls who run them in arena may have some success but still struggle with staying in the top 20, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I get you, brother. All right, next question for Hagar. Question from Ravi Klazit. Question: currently working on an Imperial Trooper team. I was wondering, what is the minimum gear level to make them viable against a maxed Nightsister team?
Oh, I have been doing G10s, and against like a max team, that doesn't seem to be cutting it. I've tried to experiment. Maybe you throw a Thrawn in there, you might have different results. But I would say, since my G10s aren't quite cutting it, I would say go G11 and see what you get.
Yeah, I think Max Nightsisters kind of call for a max Imperial Trooper team. Am I correct on that? Anybody else?
Got to have good mods as well. Got to have good speed on that team. Make sure that your boys are going before.
They got to hit hard because you've got to get that. You got to start wasting characters to get that turn meter going. And if they're maxed out, I mean, it makes it really difficult.
Yep, it's another thing that I lack is speed on my trooper team.
Well, you'll get it eventually.
You need to get Stark really fast. He's the key to get started.
Of that. Well, if he ever popped to the damn guild store, maybe I would buy him.
You know, you'll gear him up, Ranger. Gosh.
Hey, Ranger, when we started this call, I want you to know that he was in the guild store back to back for me.
Well, everybody said goodbye to King Felix.
Oh wait, yes it is.
I'm up to 60 out of 100. How about now?
25 out of 85 because the turd is never in there, man. Make me buy the damn pack, and I don't want to. If it ever comes back.
I'll be on it, CG.
Oh, Jesus. All right, back to the top. Because we're skipping Loki. Okay, next question for Nathaniel. It's from Nathaniel Miller. We'll go back to Mike. Any thought on Crouching Course rework of their mod recommendations?
I haven't looked at their mod recommendation. I mean, to me, the recommendation is speed.
Right.
Speed, and more speed, and then worry about the main primary, well, the primary stat on there. Yeah, if it's a health mod, if it's a health cross with, I don't know, 10 or more speed, and it's going to enhance the speed of your character, then that would be where I'd be looking. But yeah.
Well, quick question: does anybody else use the bots on Discord?
Funnily enough, I was going to ask that. My old guild, I've employed them, and they're brilliant. I must admit, I go on there and just have butchers.
That's what I don't go to Crouching Rancor for mods. I think that site has a lot of great tools, but I use the bots on Discord for mods.
There you go.
Gaming-fans.com also has mod guides for like 90% of characters in the game. Excellent resource.
All right. Let's see. Next question. Let's see. King Felix, this is from Danilo Papayas. Question says, I've unlocked 7-star Thrawn 85 minutes before the event ended, and I have CLS Revan R2 as well, but my GK is only 5-star in gear 6. Who should replace Jonah Kenobi? I don't have BB-8, and is it hat viable?
I'm gonna go ahead and guess this is for Arena.
I'm assuming. Well, it says is it hat viable? I'm sure.
Well, that's not the team you want to run in the hat. I mean, you can solo phase 1 with CLS and Revan. You have to crank up the speed. But somebody's got an echo.
Yeah, someone's check your mics, everybody. We're echoing.
You still there?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
So you can solo phase 1 with CLS and Revan, but if you're looking at Arena, I suggest you invest into Old Ben. I know he's a difficult. He's kind of a long farm with his Cantina node.
Yeah.
But ever since I put his the Zeta on his taunt and I sped him up a lot, his AoE ability block is a game changer in Arena for me. And I face only maxed out Jedi Ray teams and only maxed out Nightsister teams, and I still smoke all of them with my CLS lead. So I use the double Kenobi tank behind CLS, Thrawn, and Han Solo, and I have no problem climbing. I haven't lost a battle in probably like 9 months using my Luke team. You just got to crank up his speed. He gets crit immunity when you run him with GK, and makes Old Ben almost impossible to kill. Between his armor and crit immunity, it's ridiculous. I watch Han Solo crit for like 4,000 on Old Ben with his armor rating. So I would suggest Old Ben if you have Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. He's also a character you could run in there, and that's pretty much it for Rebel tanks. So, I mean, if you have Baze and Chirrut, you could run them, but they don't work as well. They work really good against Nightsisters. But Scarif Pathfinder is still a good tank.
Yes, I agree. All right, next question for Bella. This is from our friend Two Fingers. Question: First Order Stormtrooper is my best tank for my JTR team, so how should I mod him?
First Order Stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, what did I put on him? Let me just check.
Hopefully mods.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Where are you?
Just gotta look. He's there somewhere. He's white. He's got black.
So I put health on him and potency, but don't ask me why. Yeah, I mean, he's a tank.
You need speed on First Order Stormtrooper.
Yeah, you want him taunting quickly.
Yeah, I have speed on him. Yeah, not a lot. No, I don't have a lot of speed.
Well, he counters a lot too, so I mean, I would think you want him, as much health and protection as possible. But probably what offense?
I put a speed set, a speed and a defense. Speed and defense is what I put on him. And again, if you pair him with Kenobi and you get the crit immunity, he gives everybody. I think he gives defense up.
Yes.
Right when he taunts. So again, he's getting hit for like 4,000 or 5,000. So it's nothing, and he just goes all day. And I Zeta'd him as well, and I don't regret it because he counters and he gets assists. And if you get Han Solo to assist off of his counter, it wipes people out.
Dear God.
I learned that from Sir Loki.
See, Sir Loki's contributing even though he's not talking.
Yeah, but the thing is, of course, there's often some optimal set of mods, but I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I run like 10 teams now.
Oh yeah.
Disregarding raids, and so you have to be you can't have it's still, you have to have good mods on your arena team, right? And then you have to have good mods on your territory war characters and everything. Yeah. So sometimes I end up okay, I would need this kind of set here, but I don't have it, so I just look for another good set with some good secondary.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, I will say though that First Order Stormtrooper, he does have a dispel on his basic, so the potency might help a little bit.
Yeah.
Only with advantage.
Oh,
he gets a ton of advantage with crew lead with Kylo Ren Unmasked lead. He gets a ton of advantage now. So
nice. So they're going to give you some ideas. All right. Next question for Warrior. This is from Trey T, and the question is: when putting together a trooper team, Veer, Shore, Death, Snow, Stark, who needs to be the quickest? How should the modding be prioritized?
Mostly critical chance, critical damage with speed secondaries, and I mean, it depends. If you're going against a team that's going to lose a lot of characters, such as PvE content or a Nightsisters team, then speed isn't as important, really. But if you're going against like a traditional team and trying to survive, you're going to have to get into the 200s on everybody. So it just depends on what you're going against, I suppose. But for the most part, crit chance, crit damage for most all of those characters. Obviously, Shoretrooper, I do health with speed secondaries, and that's because he has a heal, and so I want him to heal as much as possible and go as often as possible.
Yep, I agree. Definitely damage on those guys. All right, the next question for Hagar. This is from DB. Question: a guild member told me to swap out speed arrow for offensive arrows on Han Solo. What? I have lots of speed on Han with critical chance and critical damage set. Is he crazy or brilliant?
Crazy.
He is crazy. What the hell?
Yeah. I don't know why he would think that.
What? A 30 speed? Yeah, you don't need 30 speed on
Han. He has a rather slow starting speed, so you need to boost that up.
The only exception to that rule is if you have a massive speed secondary on an offense arrow.
I guess so. I've had those 16, 17s.
I
have get away with that.
But you could do an offense cross instead of like protection or something. You can do an offense cross, and that makes a lot of sense. But I keep a speed arrow on everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, some craziness here. Say, meh.
Yeah.
Dilly. Two fingers question, and this will go to Hagar. With the what's ahead hint, what is more likely, a Palp rework or Darth Anakin?
Darth? As much as I would love to see Sith Lord Anakin, I'm thinking a Palp rework. They've already got him in game. It's one of those far out things there, like Revan, that as much as I would love to see, I just don't see it. So to answer your question, a Palp rework, as that has been hinted at by the devs and fan requested as well.
Yeah, I agree. Loki, can you take a question yet? Loki?
Sure.
Well, don't be all excited, jeez. Okay, this is from Dylan Rose. When do you think? Question: when do you think we'll get a battle and queue system so people can duel each other?
So you want to do a queue system, not a live system. Is that I want a live system. I want live PvP. Shoot. I'm hoping with Warrior and all the game changers going to EA that they're going to introduce a new game mode that's live PvP. That's what I'm hoping for.
And if they don't, Warrior, we want you to slay them all.
Just Rochambeau, and that's all. Just make sure you go for it.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. I mean, how hard is it to implement? I mean, who knows? But a lot of the mobile games now do incorporate live PvP content. I've been playing that South Park game. I think it's like the funnest game ever. And they do live PvP there, so it seems like it's doable. They just obviously need resources, and hopefully, when the game changers come back from the big event in February, we get some good news on something to that effect. But who knows?
Well, and I brought that up to them on multiple trips, and the very last trip that I took, which was probably June or July, I think it was in July, we sat down and had a few beers at a local pub, and we talked for like 4 hours, like 3 of the developers, and they really had a lot of questions about what PvP, live PvP would actually look like how would it play out, what would it look like, what would the mechanics, how would that be, all that. And it was very interesting, the amount of attention to detail and interest in that conversation that they had. So that's a possibility. I want sandbox mode, but more than that would be a live PvP. But I think sandbox would be a little easier. So, I'm not trying to get my hopes up a little too high.
All right.
Bring back tournaments.
Yeah, no. All right. Next question. We'll go to Bell on this one. This is from Dylan Rose. Devil's Treasure. Good Lord. When do you think we will get more ships? Within a month, I'll have all of them 7-star. I need more options.
Yeah, if he has got all at 7-star, he waited out on the last 2, right? because they are not were not farmable until, what was it, yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
And so give them some time, give the others some time to farm them, and then we will get more ships. I mean, of course we need more ships, but yeah, we would also need some better farms for other shops, like for the Cantina shop and Arena and so on. I know ships can't be everywhere, maybe, but what do you do with the currency in there? You just collect something for the shard shop. But new ships, definitely we need new ships, but we need first a new capital ship, is my guess, and then we need other ships as well.
I agree. Hopefully it's soon. I can't. Your guess is as good as ours, Devils, on that. Question for Warrior from Grim. He says, I hear Warrior did a roster review of a Grim. Did he think it was me?
Yeah, there's probably more than one Grim, Grimm, but I have a patron that goes by Grim, Grimm, and that is the one that I did a roster review of.
There you go. So he did not think it was you. Warrior is smarter than that, Grim. The other Grim, or the original Grim, whoever you claim to be. It's feel like we're in the Matrix or something. All right, back to the top. Mike, question from Guz989. Question: who should I use as a leader in my Sith squad for territory war defense? Zader, Palpatine, non-Zeta, Zader, Palpatine, non-Zeta Nihilus, or non-Zeta Maul? Ooh. Non-Zeta Maul. Ooh. Oh.
Can't be Zeta Palpatine.
No.
Because there isn't one on there. The one I would recommend is the one he hasn't mentioned, I believe, which would be the Nihilus.
He said non-Zeta Nihilus or non-Zeta Maul.
Out of all of them, I'd say the non-Zeta Nihilus. To be honest, over a non-Zeta.
Right.
Yeah. The Zeta on Maul just is like the one on Savage. It takes him to a complete other level. Whereas you can, with the Nihilus, it's 100% health, isn't it, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you've got the when you give up the protection, you get that in health. So yeah, that would be where I would go with that, because that way, every time they go, they'll be healing, and if he's got a Mr. Gnarly, a Count Dooku, he goes nuts. He's brilliant.
Yep.
Under a Nihilus lead.
All right. Next question. Let's see. King, this is from Two Fingers question. Does CG change manipulate the drop rate of Cantina nose, or am I just paranoid with a tin hat on my head?
You are not paranoid.
You're not paranoid. I just had this happen. I was telling everybody about this. So I used my Cantina refreshes. The first 20 I did on Kylo and Unmasked, I did 1. I got 1 shard out of 20. And then I did 16 and got 10. I am just as miffed on this as you are about what is going on with the drop rate for Cantina nodes.
I'm just going to say, Ranger, I've told you before, do 5 sims instead of 20.
No, I will do 20 and you'll like it.
I won't like it. Warrior did a video on this.
And?
Apparently he's AFK for a moment.
Yes, but he did a video, and I remember it saying...
I know, not damn, it's 8. I don't know shit. So, okay.
In theory, it's completely the same, but I'm telling you, it's not. The drop rates get manipulated, whether they acknowledge that or not. So you can say I got a tinfoil hat, and that's fine.
Tinfoil hats are cool, man.
That's right.
I sometimes up and down it. 2, 5, 3, 4. Mix it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another thing I'll do, and it doesn't work all the time, but if I do like 5 and I get 0, I'll immediately do like a 10, because I figure it's like the slots are gonna turn. the randomness is going to turn for me in my favor, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
All right.
I think you have to use the Force, and then it works.
You will give me more shots.
Oh, God. All right, Bella, next question from Chris McQuitty. Does anyone know if Admiral Holdo will taunt when foresight expires, but she is stunned? Oh, Lord, I have no idea.
Well, I didn't really get the question. I haven't played with her a lot, except I just did the event, right?
Right.
So when when her taunt expires,
well, it says, does anyone know if Admiral Holdo will taunt when foresight expires, but she is stunned?
But correct me if I'm wrong. Foresight doesn't expire when you attack a stunned character with foresight, because when they're stunned,
it goes around it, right?
Yeah, it goes around it because they're stunned.
On special attacks, I think regular attacks still will. No.
It goes around.
It goes around, right?
Yeah, when Kenobi is stunned with foresight, he keeps his foresight, but you can attack him with any character, with any attack, and then he loses his foresight after he comes off as stun.
That's a good question.
I'm pretty
I don't know. We'll have to.
Is that working as it intended? Because
I think they made that as part of the mechanics that they changed, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. Let's see here. All right, next question for Warrior. This is from Zerbus Delta Pi. I think, is that Delta? I can't tell. Question, hey guys, I've been wondering about Thrawn's special Grand Admiral's command on auto and defense. Characters on the team are debuffed, and yet he uses it on the one without anything in full protection health all the time. Is this AI just crap, or what is the secret behind it? Warrior there?
Go ahead, you guys. I'm right in the middle of something.
Okay, so then we will go to Hager on that.
Repeat that question.
Oh, Lord. All right. Hey guys, I've been wondering about Thrawn's special Grand Admiral command on auto and defense. Characters on the team are debuffed, and yet he uses it on the one without anything on and full protection health all the time. Is his AI just crap, or what is the secret behind it?
AI is just crap, probably.
It might be crap. Or it just might be RNG. Honestly, I haven't really paid that much attention because I usually do mind tricks on Thrawn and then kill him.
Yeah.
I'm stumped on that one. I don't know. That one's kind of out of left field.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the AI does some strange stuff with that. Sometimes Thrawn does the right move with that move, even though they have full health protection, but he'll throw it on R2, who will then use his stealth. Sometimes he does it on a character, or he'll use it on OG Han. You're like, no, that makes sense. And then he uses it on a character like, what? No. It's like, why didn't you use it on Kenobi? He's about to die, you son of a... But, I mean, the AI just does some funky stuff sometimes. It's not just Thrawn, it's other characters, too. You know, I mean, it's how they code it and how, I mean, without looking at the code and how they prioritize what the AI does, it's kind of hard to speculate. But, yeah, I mean, that's everybody knows that. That's why you can climb in PvP with any team, because the AI does some really ridiculous stuff, and you're just like, okay, thanks for the win. So, yeah. All right, let's see. We'll give Loki a question. Junior Hawk 003 has a question. Who does Speculative farm to stay ahead of the Panic farm? Loki, how does someone stay ahead of the Panic farm? The Speculative farm.
All the rumors that go around start early. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
You know, we did several streams where we said, you know, I think you're gonna need the veterans for Jedi Training Ray, and look what happened. So take the rumors with a grain of salt, but you know what? You know, you've been warned, and there's some truth to some of the rumors. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. All right.
And there's falseness to some of the rumors as well.
Yeah, you just have to. I mean, look, he's right. I mean, this one is different from the other ones because the other ones we kind of knew, like with R2 or Thrawn. Well, not so much Thrawn, but R2 and some of the other ones. Luke and then Jedi Training Ray. Those three characters we kind of knew and could speculate who you were going to need, and we were pretty much right on the money, right? Because it just made sense, right? Now, but for this one, it could be any direction, so I can't really tell you. It could be Palpatine. So if you don't have Palpatine, you may need him, or Sidious. It could be. It could be. It could be. You need Anakin. It's hard to tell you. Those are three characters that kind of. Look about what the quote is and who possibly could be with the quote, and then. If you want to panic farm or get ahead of it, then that's what you should be doing. But again, you do still want to stay on target. Warrior's right. If you're not working on this. What's that?
It's going to be Padme a week before the event.
Jeez, man, you're crazy.
I'm telling y'all.
They did it with Phoenix 2 days before.
They might give us
Phoenix was released. Then they just made it free to play.
Well, yeah, right before them, but
it's going to be the same thing. They might give us 2 weeks this time because of the backlash, but it's going to be the same thing. So save your crystals.
To go back to the question, if you don't have EP, get the characters you need to get EP, and if you don't have Anakin would be a safe bet to farm. And if you don't have Darth Vader, then look for him in Guild events Fleet Store.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you, man.
All right. Next question. Let's see who was that?
I will say Paul Morgan just donated $2, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Paul, for that. Pretty much, thank you. Very
and
much.
we got your question in the queue. We got a lot of questions. But we got everybody's. It's still queued up, so we're kind of wrapping it up. But...
Yeah, let's wrap up the question. Put the thing out, Loki. We got.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great, but we can't.
No, thanks to everybody. But
yes.
They scoop all the questions. But we must have gone through like 40 questions already, which is insane.
Yeah. All right, next question for Mike. Back to the top. What else? 73 question. Do Tenacity set mods have a use, or should we farm other set mods and just ignore them?
The only advice I could have is I tend to find that there's trends with mods. For example, where I'm going with this is that for a period of time, if I saw a mod with secondary speed and it was Tenacity, I found that it would turn if I was picking them up through the store. And through that, I then farmed Tenacity mods, and I did get some good ones. But the decider for me was the fact that when I was the only way that I buy mods through the mod store is through credits, and so therefore it's whichever one's appealing. So you go with those and you try them out. But personally, I've found that I tend to get sets that seem to turn. For example, I had loads of defense mod. I've got a 21 speed triangle on which is a defense mod. But I then kind of farmed those mods and found that they seem to be the flavor of the month for me. It's not a scientific answer, but that's kind of how I would play that. And if you've got one good one, then you hunt out the second. Because you're going to add. If you put 2 tenacities in, you'll get the additional tenacity on there. I know that when Kenobi first came out, tenacity was what you wanted on him, just to be able, to not be stunned and whatnot.
All right.
Although the mechanic is just slightly broken.
Cool. All right. Next question for King. This is from Petar Engeloff. Oh, actually, this is a question for Warrior. Okay. Warrior, are you there, buddy?
Yes, I am.
All right. Warrior. I hear all the time how CLS teams beat Nightsister teams, but I never saw any CLS team beating Asajj-led with weak zombie, OD, MT, and either Barris, GK. Any idea for a CLS team here?
So this is the deal. Nightsisters can be grossly underpowered and still highly competitive, and CLS has to be completely overpowered with pretty amazing mods to be competitive against Nightsisters. So, it's kind of like squeezing a square peg through a round hole. It's one of those things you can make it happen, but it's difficult. It really is. But the traditional CLS, Han Solo, GK, Thrawn. Thrawn's key, but the problem is a lot of people have wised up, and not a lot of Nightsister teams were built right early on that people didn't realize. So they went crazy, Gear 12, whatever, on their zombie, and now people realize, oh, they're here for the long haul, they're farmable, they're going to explode. And most people out there haven't done anything with their Nightsisters, and so there's going to be this flood of new Nightsister teams, and they're going to look up what to do, and they're going to see the zombie should be, not fracturable, and so it's going to get tougher and tougher. And so General Kenobi is really the weak link on that kind of that CLS-led team, and so you're going to have to replace it, General Kenobi, probably with somebody else. He doesn't really provide any benefit versus a Nightsister team, so that's where the challenge.
Yeah, I always like to, I would use a CLS if you have a chase team. I mean, that team would help tremendously against that team.
I suppose if I was going to run CLS, I'd probably run Chase for the healing and the constant hots, the heal over times. And if I was running, Knights against Nightsisters with Rey, I probably would want Holdo, even though she's not as good as I was hoping. She can keep you alive long enough to at least beat the Nightsisters. Yeah. It's pretty rough. You would probably lose Holdo in the process, but she hopefully will keep the team around long enough to be able to finish them off.
Yeah, I thought it was, when I first saw her, was a direct counter to Nightsisters because of what she could do. So, all right, let's see. I forgot where we're at. Okay, here we go. Bella, for you. Question, Paul Morgan. With a growing power creep, how long are new characters viable? It seems that new characters are direct counters to tunes introduced earlier. Is being a speedy gear 12 enough?
The last part is about Gear 12. Is who?
Well, it seems so. What they're asking is this. So I'll read it again and then kind of break it down. With a growing power creep, how long are new characters viable? So it's like, so what they're saying is, do you need to get into Gear 12? I mean, how long are they viable? I mean, blah, blah, blah.
All right. I see. It depends actually totally on the new character. For example, CLS is still viable. When did we have the event? October? I don't know. When was it? No, when did we have CLS event?
It was August.
Was August, it? Yeah, it was even earlier. So August, and half the arena is now Jedi Rey, but there's still quite a few CLS teams out there, and he's very good for territory battles and light side territory battles and territory war, and he's still a very, very good character. But other new characters are not the same, right? For example, what can we take as an example?
Rose?
Hmm?
Rose?
Yeah, Rose. But we talked a lot about Rose, and I would like to have a character that is a bit older, which we thought. So, for example, who is using Fulcrum Ahsoka?
Loki. Loki loved Fulcrum Ahsoka.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that working out for you?
Oh, that's not me, man. That was a Turbo, man.
Warrior went all in on Ahsoka.
Yeah. So it I think some characters will be always good, and others you will use for a short while and forget about them.
Yeah, every new character. I mean, some have like they're just disgusting, when you gear them up real quick, you have an advantage because they're just so good, right? And then some characters, like we just mentioned, are just not. It's kind of like throw spaghetti in the wall and see what sticks sometimes, because even if their kits look really great, Ahsoka Tano's a perfect example. A lot of people invested a lot of stuff in her turbo and stuff, you know, but she's a really good character, but she wasn't like, you know, a lot of people were disappointed that they made that huge investment on Zetas and stuff, and she was good, but just didn't bring what they were looking for, and it didn't give them an advantage that they thought they would have with her. So you just have to be careful with that, you know. I mean, every new shiny thing that's presented doesn't mean you have to invest fully into it, unless you really love the character, you know, but you have to be really careful. All right. Let's see. All right, next question. This is kind of for everybody, so I'll just let anybody answer. Solar Warden question, around the Porg. How many tunes do you have in your favorite list? 1, 2, or like 10? I got like 20. Working on gear and stuff. It's like that. I'm just lazy. I don't go back in and filter them out. Anybody else?
I've got 10 or so. Yeah, got a bunch.
I change mine all the time. One day it'll be 20, the next day it'll be 3, and it goes just all over the place. I do not stay on target.
I got 12 in mine, but
oh Lord!
But 4 of those can go now.
All right.
I'm rather on the 20 side as well.
Yeah. All right. Next question for well, this is for Warrior, but let's see. So Warrior, the question is from Solar Warden again. It says, do you guys think they'll introduce new raids in the game for ships where we could use all 4 backups, because we hardly use 2 of them in the arena fights?
Yeah, so really I think what you need to think about backups as is options. I know that they get brought out in linear order, so like the very first slot to the left is the first one that the computer will pull out, but think of it as options. So like I use Poe Dameron, but because there's always the Imperial TIE Fighter, and you know inevitably they're going to dodge 10,000 times, so I have Poe in my backup. But really I don't want the AI to call him at all, because he's just a liability on defense. And so you're right, you probably won't get to those last couple characters on offense or defense, but I like to have him as a tool on my team, so I have him in the far back right on my backup, so that way he's that tool available to me for when I need him. But yeah, the battles go pretty quickly, and you don't get all of your backup to come into the game, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think the battles would take far too long if all of them came into the game. I mean, 9 ships is, you know, it's just too much fighting, honestly, for one battle.
We got another donation from Paul Morgan for $5.
Hey, thank you, Paul Morgan, for the donation. Very much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Next question for Hagar. Question from, I want to say Jose, but it's Josue.
Josue, dime tu pregunta.
Josue Garcia. Okay. Question: have y'all noticed the unusually high drop rate for Kylo Unmasked High Salary Cantina mode?
I'm still trying to finish up my Darth Trooper, but yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying that he does have an unusually high drop rate.
Is it that, but is he on because he's on a lower tier of the Cantina where you're able to farm more of them? Unlike, you know, Viagra, Han, and Chewie, you were on 8 F and G, where it was like, you know, you had 16 energy, and you know, so you're using less energy, so less drops. I mean, that's got to be part of it, right?
I would say, yeah, if you get more chances in there, that's going to be doing something. But maybe if it's just like straight probabilities, out of whatever 20 you get, you know, 10 or so, then yeah.
For me, I always compare it to the crystals you spend on refreshes to what you would pay in the shipments. So I think it's what, 12. It's 1,200 crystals for 16 shards.
1,280
like
for 16. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first day it was farmable, I spent 300 crystals on Cantina refreshes, and I got 23 shards of Kylo Ren. You know.
Yeah.
Plus I think I got like 28 of the silencer, so it's working fine for me just now. I think Ranger's having some struggles, but that's to be expected.
I have horrible luck. I mean, it's just Loki wins, I lose. It's just the way it is, you know.
The way of the world.
My luck was in combat, not in gambling. So, all right, last question. We'll go to everybody. Give a big round of applause and thank you to Loki for scooping up all these questions as Dr. Finn works on our video. Thank you, Loki, for doing that. Very much appreciated, sir. So we'll give the last question to you, and it kind of is directed at you. This is from Solo Warden, our last question for everybody. If I get an example, if I could get an example, a mod with 5% defense or 15 flat defense, compared to the speed mods, if you can. I know Loki talked about in the past. Thanks.
So it's was it flat values versus percentage values?
Right.
So the flat values just seem like they give the character more. You know, there's a plateau, I think, with percentages. Like, for example, if you shove health percentages, like health primaries, or you know, in the circle, the cross, the triangle, and the arrow, right? If you put all health primaries, there's a plateau somewhere where they're not going to get back as much as like a flat value. So interestingly enough, the highest, I think, flat defense value I've ever seen is like 38 maybe. I haven't seen anything higher. So I really want defense to work well. We talked about it in the past with like Sith Trooper, like other characters that have really high defense multipliers on their character levels. So I know the defense topic came up during the show, but you know, I always have this thing in the back of my head where I want to shove all the defense secondaries on somebody that has a high defense multiplier, because it seems to increase the armor percentage a lot. I think the highest I could get my GK right now is like 51%. I think that's kind of high. Does it work like I want it to? No, he still gets taken out by Raidhan with like a bayonet and some offense up and crit damage up. But who knows what they're going to do later? Maybe they tweak the values a little bit more and make armor, and then going back to the question about tenacity, maybe they make tenacity work a little bit better. But yeah, I think the flat values always have bigger benefit than the percentage values on the mods.
All right. So that's the last question. So thank you, everybody, as Loki said, for all the questions. That was a lot of questions today, and I hope we answered your questions to the best of our abilities. Thank you all, for everybody in chat, for being here. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we were able to help some of you guys out, or help everybody out, actually, what am I saying, with your questions and give you some insight to what it all means. So let's go around and allow people to pimp their channel. I'm going to let Warrior go first, because I know it's getting close to this time where he has to open the shop and make millions and all that other good stuff. So Warrior, tell the folks where they can check you out, what you got going on, all that good stuff.
Yep. So anyway, I got to bail, but I thank you guys for having me on, and it's always fun as usual. We've done this now over a year, so pretty awesome. Thanks to everybody who asked questions, because that's what makes the show go. And just appreciate everybody that's on the panel. As far as me, it's just Warrior Presents at YouTube. So go check me out and check out my new content. Got a new free-to-play farming guide for 2018 that will be coming out very soon.
And you've got a second channel too for like just roster reviews?
Strictly roster reviews. It's called Warriors Roster Reviews, and they're both linked together. If you go to one channel, you'll find the other, or vice versa.
There you go. All right. Hagar, why don't you tell the folks where you're at? You're the newest kid on the block. Where can people check your stuff out?
Oh, shucks. Thanks, Ranger. I have a YouTube channel. Believe it or not, just search Hagar, Hagar, and SWGOH, and you'll find me. Look for the little Viking guy, and that's me.
Mm-hmm. And for you that are not old enough, it's from a former comic, the Hagar the Horrible, great stuff. So check that out. Darth Bella, where are we standing with your YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube is still standing, which is good. Yeah, I have a channel. It's called Darth Bella, just like my name. And you find me here on Saturdays. And thanks for having me.
Absolutely. When are you going to start doing some more interviews? Damn it, that's what people want to know.
Yeah, I will. I have the next victim, but the next victim doesn't know about it right now.
Oh. Someone out there is in big trouble.
Big trouble. Big trouble in Chinatown.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent news, my apprentice. Mike, where can people check you out, buddy?
Thank you for hosting the show. And to Loki for picking up and monitoring all the questions and that. I've got a YouTube channel. It's mike.hunt.swgoh. I'm about to release loads of Galactic War time trials as Hagar threw down the challenge.
That's right. Challenge you all.
Yeah, I know. I've accepted the challenge. I just haven't been able to get near your fastest speed yet, which is keeping me going on that one. Yeah, and just general everything from mods to ships to across the board. And occasionally I do stupid things like max out new tunes.
There you go. All right, and then Sir Loki, I know you got a separate channel you do stuff with. You do a lot of lightsaber builds. Anything you want to pimp that you're working on? I mean, you've got any new lightsaber stuff or anything that you can tantalize the fans with?
I have my own channel. You can click on my name in the chat room. It's Sir Loki. Right now, lightsaber builds. We did that one for Grande.
Mm-hmm.
It came out great. His little kid. He sends me photos of his son with no shirt on, running around the house with it. It's really fun for me to see that they're enjoying it, and he's telling me, oh yeah, the battery always wears out. I say, yeah, because you keep using it all the time.
Right,
so
you have to plug it in.
He's having fun with it. That was a Vader build. I got 3 on deck right now that I'm doing. One is a Return of the Jedi. It's a Jedi Luke with the gull wing doors with the crystal. If you see the deleted scene that's on YouTube where he has his little screwdriver and he's kind of tweaking it, that's the build I'm working on right now. And then I'm working on a Revenge of the Sith. I have a Sid, a Sidious that's going to be coming in, and a Grandmaster Yoda, the little mini build.
Treason, then.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have fun with those, building those up, and then I'll put them up on my channel. I'm doing like SWGOH. I've been away for maybe a month or so. Work's gotten crazy, and I've been going to Vegas a lot for work and pleasure.
Yeah, so you've been mainly pleasure and winning tons of money. I hate you.
Yeah, it's been fun. But I do want to put more content up. I've been doing a lot of arena stuff and some dark side territory battle stuff. So I plan to still continue doing that. But yeah, right. Thanks for those who check out my channel. I appreciate it.
Yep. And then of course, King Felix. Anything you want to shout out or anything over there in Korea as you get ready for Betty Bye?
Well, I will be back in America in 3 months, which is amazing. And if you're looking for King Felix, you won't find him on YouTube, but you will find him at the top of Arena and most recently Fleet Arena. I have made my climb, and I started doing ships, which I hate, but the rewards are worth it. So you'll find me on the top of there.
Force lightning just came out of Darth Bella's fingers when she heard that.
Oh, yeah? Well, Bella, if you want to come into my ship shard, you're more than welcome. There's 70 of us in the chat. And I saw, if Warrior's here, I saw your ship shard, and it's god-awful. I would smoke half of the people in there in 10 seconds. Come over to my ship shard, and you'll see some actual battles.
Word. All right. And of course, if you're watching this is the RSG channel. We run this pretty much as we can at the Jedi Academy every Saturday from 10 a.m. to whenever we get done. Usually about 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we go over depending on how many questions, but we got through the questions pretty fast today, even though there was a metric ton of them. And that's because of all you great people and all your support, which means, all these people, these YouTubers and people come here to answer your questions that take time out of their busy schedules. So support them. It's about the community. So not only support our channel by subscribing and give us a thumbs up, but do the same for these guys. It really helps the community grow, and it helps their channel grow, and helps our channel grow, and it just helps the content get out there quicker. And of course, subscribe, because if you want to know the latest from these guys, all you have to do is subscribe and get the latest updates, and that's what it's all about. And then of course, with RSG, we have the other 2 streams we'll be running. We've got the stream tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Now I'm just gonna let everybody know that that's gonna be a shorter stream tonight for about 2 hours, I think, mainly because I'm doing some stuff with somebody else that I have to log off for. So it'll be a couple hours. We'll still do it, but then I've got a jet, so it won't be 4 hours like we normally do, where we're just getting cray and stuff. But we will do some stuff. I've got the Holdo event and all that stuff, and I'll do that live, and Loki will have his stuff, and we'll kind of mess around and answer your questions and show the game off and things of that nature. And then Wednesday is our big stream where we get the latest news and notes, and we break it all down and tell you what it all means. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, check out all this great stuff, guys. For everybody here, thank you for being here. We very much appreciate your support. You guys are amazing. And if you have more questions or things that you need to get answered, just come to the RSG Discord. We have a great community of people there. You can go in there, and there's lots of people. If you're a newer player, an older player, it doesn't matter. Just come in there, and we will be more than glad to help you out with your questions. We've got all kinds of fun sections and Q&A questions section. I mean, it's just there's all kinds of great stuff there, and we're more than glad to answer your question and help you out. So on behalf of myself, Mike, King, Bella, Warrior, Hagar, and Loki, thank you guys for all being here. You guys be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If we don't see you tonight on the RSG stream, we'll see you next Wednesday or whenever we see you, but stay safe, enjoy your weekend, and we will holler at you later. Take care.